All right, welcome back. This is a new day to give you what we give. We are going to talk about male accountability today.
I'm sorry.
I always struggle with LITY word.
Well, no, I wasn't laughing now. I don't know why, but obviously this is a show that we do. I don't know why, the countdown to me is always funny. Like the countdown, we're ready to get us the 3, 2. I don't know why that's always funny. It's like, okay, let's go. It's like you know, like, okay, remember. Sorry, we'll get to that show. I ain't talking about. So you remember like playing football when like you was like in the tunnel. And like you had to do the front, like swaying you, get you ready to come out the field. I don't know why. That's what made me think of. So okay, let's go. Let's read the episode.
It's so crazy. Like I need to be motivated to. I mean, like I'm already committed to running in 200-300 pounds.
Right,
like,
right.
I don't need this to be feel like I'm
but
I'm gonna do it because it's lit.
But think about this though, like we're literally filming ourselves and put this in front of people for them to come watch.
And in record time, we went left already. So this is
male
accountability. Male accountability. I'm Jarvis,
Fabius,
and we had an episode, and by the time you see this, you will have seen it about women and men role. What am I doing? Our role.
Gender roles.
Our role in protecting black women and fostering growth.
Oh, okay. So you're being specific.
Yeah.
Our
and we qualified that episode by saying that we can't necessarily really talk too much in depth about this because we're not women and we're not going to mansplain anything. Mm-hmm. But now we're talking about the men. Yeah. We're experts at this. So
I mean, not even just that though. It's just real. Like I think a big part of that is this is my serious voice now. But honestly, a big part of that is that we have to hold each other accountable, right? Like if anything we see that's going on, if anything that we notice, even sometimes, right? Like having a conversation with your homie, and it's not like you're judging them for what they say, but you're like, okay, you said this. Explain that for me, bro. Because sometimes I just need to hear you coming from with that just to make sure I'm not coming for you for something I don't necessarily come for you for, or I'm putting words in your mouth, right? So I think just really holding people, holding ourselves accountable for not only ourselves but our friends too. Like, you gotta let your friends know what's up.
The greatest respect somebody can give me is to let me know when I'm not being my best self. Don't have me out here looking like a damn fool. Okay, you feel me? Like. And that's in any walk of my life, whether it's in who I am as a person, as an individual, as a father, as a husband, as a friend. Like my godbrother Trail, like he checked me earlier today when I got my haircut because I'm incredibly unresponsive when using the phone, and I am for my own personal reasons. I know I am. I own that. You feel me? And I had to take into account, like I'm an adult now. You feel me? Like the people that depend on me, that the people need to know that I'm okay. You feel me? So, I had to take it. I didn't feel good. But he definitely sharpened an iron on me, bitch, being a responsible person. You feel me? That's part of being a good person. I appreciate him for that. Yeah. You feel me? So that's just an example of when we say iron sharpen iron. Like when someone is telling you you are not who you should be, or there is something that is in deficit in your personality, like listen. Just listen.
Yeah.
A little bit. Just listen.
It's just funny, like, it's like the same thing to me, like, always, when you hear people talking about, like, for example, you have a group of friends going out, you get that one friend who, his outfit ain't looking right? But his friends let him go out. It is like, to me, you not a good friend. Like, you let your friend walk out the house looking like that, right? Now, it's different if I tell you, hey, bruh, I don't know if that's it, and you still go and do it, okay, that's your choice. But at least I told you. But just real. I'm saying that being funny, but really, like it just to me, you're not a real friend to somebody if you're not willing to. I don't like the term calling them out because I think sometimes that comes with a harsh reaction, and I think sometimes people like, oh, you're trying to poke at my flaws, but no, I just friendship, man. Like if I see that there's an area that you grow in, hey, maybe rethink this area a certain way. I'm going to say that to you because I hope you say it to me because there's a lot of friends that I say help me become the husband I am now. Like sometimes calling stuff out like, hey, Dad, maybe you need to have a filter on something you say. You can't just say everything that comes to your mind. That may not be what you should do. Right? Like I appreciate that. Like right, like first you're like, dang, I've always been like that, and just because you my homie and I've always been like that. does not mean that that's something I don't need to work on, right? That just means, for example, you with the phone. I love you, Jarvis, but that drives me fucking crazy how you are with the phone. Like, it does. Like, right? Like, I know anything that you do with Jarvis, you need to hit him up early in advance. Just make sure you let him know, because you depend on him with the phone. It's not going to happen. But it's one of the things that, like, I know that about you, but you done better. Like, I say from when I met you years ago to now, it's night and day. So I give you that credit. And I appreciate it. Probably you get married and have a baby. It probably is. Thank you, Whitney. Appreciate you. Thank you. You know,
I mean, that is part of it. But
yeah.
part of that also is being accountable for who I am and being accountable for who I am for other people.
Yeah.
You know, so, like I can't say that you're my best friend if we don't talk.
Sure.
Right. So, or I can't say that I'm here for you. I'm not there for you if you call me.
Yeah, true.
All right. So, I had to reconsider that. I had to take it into consideration when, like, it was time I felt like I ain't have nobody. I'm like, well, shit, you do the same thing to people. Like, you do that to people. And that was one of those moments, come to Jarvis moment, where I had to talk to myself and discover that. But also, like, I heard from you or anybody else in my life of not just of significance, because you know, the burning bush and talking ass, you can get a message from anything.
Yeah.
But I am programming myself and I'm working on myself in a sense that when someone, especially a man, this is men talking to men, like when especially a man tell me like, you can probably be better at this, I had to learn to not take that shit personal.
Bro, oh my God, thank you, yes.
I had to learn not to take it personal, and that when someone correct me in a way I don't like, or give me advice in a way that I don't like. Basically, when I say that, trying to shout off on me or make me look stupid in front of a crowd, which doesn't happen often. But
that's not really trying to help you though. I feel like somebody trying to call you out in front of the crowd, or somebody, like, to me that's clout chasing. That's you trying to put yourself onto the stage.
And here we go.
That's different though.
Here's that slippery slope.
It depends on in the group that we in. Like, if we in the group chat and I say something to you, okay, that's different. We all homies within the group chat. There's understanding. But if we're out at a party, right, and if I say something to you in front of all these folks that we may not know, but that's different. That's different. That's what I'm saying.
I agree and disagree.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying. When my mom, thank you, Mom, I love you. When we go to Walmart, and she would specifically tell me, do not do X, Y, Z. And sometimes we would make it my point to do X, Y, Z. I cannot be mad at my mom for giving me consequence for X, Y, Z inside of Walmart if she told me what not to do before we got in that shit. She saw the behavior and she directed me where the hell we were, right? That's a part of accountability. If you are on any social media like platform, or if you are in public and you are doing something that deserves to be re-examined, or you need to take it back and someone is telling you to get your shit together, and they're doing it in that space, you kind of have to own that too. Because you looking a fool in public, why can't you be corrected in public?
But see, okay. I feel what you're saying about the example with the mom. I do feel you. Even though I feel like in the context of that, I feel like that is different. Because you're talking about a parent to a child, right? So I feel like the context of that's a little bit different. And what I'm saying is, like, okay, let's say I make a post and saying something crazy, right? Mm-hmm. There's two ways. So I did the public forum, public way for everybody can see it, right? There's a way that you can tell me, hey, Thad, what you just posted was wild, bro. You might want to take that down. You can say that in the comments when everybody can see you saying that. Or what you can do is you can DM me and say, hey, Dad, you might want to take this down. Or shoot me a text. So that's what I'm saying. It's not the fact that you're calling me out because of something I said in a public platform. My thing is there's a way you can go about it.
Well, can I meet you in the middle with it?
Okay.
It depends on the severity of what you're saying and what you're
doing. Okay. Unpack that.
If it's some shit, where it just looks a little unfavorable, it looks a little bit out of character, it's not detrimental to who you are, or it does. To be honest with you, and this is not how I feel, but for some people, if it's one of those things where it makes me look stupid because I associate myself with you, or I immediately need to let people know that this is not my view. This is his and his alone, right? Because I don't want to be married to that ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Then I 100% believe that you should let that be known. Like if you are saying, whew, what is something I vehemently disagree with?
And I probably wouldn't say it.
If he says a problem with it, no flags. If he says that I support R. Kelly and he's a personal acts in that grind, like if he said that he support R. Kelly in a public forum, I'm going to tell you that you have lost your shit. I'm going to tell you that in a public forum.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because you're associating yourself with some pretty heinous shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? I would be less than a friend to you, or to let people think that you associate yourself with people that take it that it's okay. Right.
So I hear you. I do hear you. I understand you. It's one of the things where we'll get to another episode about agree and disagree. I just say like in that circumstance, right? Because in that circumstance, I hear what you're saying. Because there are certain things that you do. You want to make sure that people know that is his view, his opinion. I don't associate myself with that, and I get it. But at the same time, I do feel like there is a place for it. And I feel like you commenting under somebody's status isn't always the best way to do it. But also I will go back and say will say this too. What I do agree with you on. The fact that you are saying something means you were at least holding somebody accountable. So I can't agree with you on that.
Yeah, but you can't act out in public and expect a private referendum on what you're doing. That's.
But what do you mean by that? Like, for example, like let's say this show blows up, which I hope it does. Please like and subscribe.
Subscribe, share,
all that.
Talk about it.
Tell your mama.
Message me about what I said that was stupid that you don't agree with.
We'll shout you out on the show.
Sharpen my iron.
Please do it. And let's say I were to say something outlandish. Because we do the show together, I can understand how you're feeling like, okay, I need to make sure to say this because we are associated with each other to a degree, especially if it blows up professionally. I get that. Okay, you may want to say something in. But if it's just like Thaddeus and Jarvis on a normal everyday basis, I would hope if I were to say something outlandish, you would hit me up and not say something in the comments. That's what I would expect. But also too, it does take a level of knowing your friend. And also, too, knowing how to communicate with how you prefer to be communicated with. I think a lot of times what we do, if let's say that was to happen, right? I could be so caught up in the fact that Jarvis called me out in public that I didn't take into the fact of, okay, what is he calling me out for? What is it that he's calling about? We can agree, we can agree to disagree on the how, but the fact of the world is, if somebody does call you out, be receptive to understanding it's coming from the good place.
But I think when you say that, though, you have to take into account that there are responsibilities from all stakeholders. As the person that is doing the referendum, I have to be, I have to be careful on how I frame things and how I say it and when I say it. You feel me? Like, you have to be strategic and you have to be logical and reason within yourself and be like, how would I feel if someone came at me like this?
Right.
You have to take that into account. Right?
Yeah.
You have to take that into account. But as the person that is out here wilding and need that, you have to understand that sometimes I have to meet you where you are. Right?
Oh, okay.
And you also have to understand that sometimes my action deserves a immediate and sometimes severe response. And I say severe, like with all adults, I am not going to physically fight you unless I have to. Over your own opinion.
Yeah.
Like, but also I understand if I go out and say something that is outlandish and hurtful, sport take care or some, my own opinion, quip here about music, whatever. Who gives a shit?
Right, yeah.
Like if I'm saying or doing something that is a direct and immediate, action that is negative towards anybody else, and I need to be corrected. Just intervention need to be had.
Right.
You feel me? Like sometimes you need to intervene. You feel me, to save that person and the person that is the victim on the opposite end of that, whatever they're doing. Right. You feel me? So sometimes you can't wait. You feel me? Sometimes you have to go to where that person is for them to hear what you're saying.
Right.
You don't. It's not my responsibility or anybody else's responsibility to be malicious and hurtful in what I'm saying. But sometimes I have to just meet you there.
Yeah, and I think the overall goal of it is, honestly, the overall core of it, I guess you can say, is what's the intention behind it, right? Like if I know your heart's coming from a good place, and like I said, even like so, I am happy that we talked about the forum, and I'm happy that we're unpacking of how you sometimes hold somebody accountable, because I think the how does matter, right? I think the sad part of it is a lot of people get trapped in the how. They don't see the heart that it's coming from or what they're trying to say, because they get so entrapped of how they did it. So I'm happy that we talked about that. But I mean, it just goes down, man. You gotta be able to just take it a chance sometimes.
Yeah, but that is kind of. But even like when we break down what accountability is, it's not just us holding each other accountable. You know how we. Well, essentially, it's the same thing. But you know, what is holding someone accountable? Then let me rephrase that. What is holding someone accountable? Like I couldn't associate myself with men who don't take care of the children.
Okay.
Right. And as your friend, like if I ever feel like you were slipping on taking care of your kids, it's gonna be a conversation. You feel me? Like I ain't gonna get into your marital affairs because ain't none of my business. As long as everybody's healthy and happy. But like how you treat your kids and how you treat just regular people, like I've actually like had tough conversation with friends because I don't like the way they treat service workers when we
oh
go out
my
to
God,
eat.
no, bro, that's normal.
Like
I hate when people are rude to service,
right.
bro.
So that accountability is I'm accountable and letting you know how ugly that shit is, and I'm not amused by it.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm telling you this because I want you to say you from yourself, because you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You feel me? So we gotta compartmentalize yourself and say like what is something that we hold each other accountable on, and when do we step off and let that person be that person, and offer advice when needed or when asked. But I think what we have to wrap our mind around or even come up with is what are these core essential things that we agree on. That if I see my brother, emphasis on my brother. If I see my brother slipping and struggling in this particular department of what they are doing or what we have agreed upon that we're going to hold in high standard, then I need to go say something and do something. And if that's the way that we treat our women, the way that we treat our kids, the way that we treat ourselves, our attitude towards our communities and neighborhoods, if those are things that we say, okay, I'm going to hold you accountable on this, and this is our responsibility, then we need to do that. Accountability ain't me just calling you on you saying and doing some stupid shit. You feel me?
There we go.
Accountability is more so like, love you women. What are we doing to uphold our community? Because ultimately that shit falls on our back, or at least it should.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? Like, but what are we doing to make sure that we are all in place and marching along to a certain degree? We're not monolithic. You feel me?
Yeah.
But to a certain degree, what are we doing as a conglomerate to make this shit work?
Yeah. Let me ask you this though too as well. Do you think that when we're saying that not only holding ourselves accountable, especially when it comes to our communities, I think sometimes people get the idea of that looks like one thing or that looks like one conversation. Do you feel like there's multiple ways that we can have that? And what I mean by that is, I think it's just as simple of holding your homeboys accountable for how you talk about women, right? Like I think even to that small level. So as I'm asking you is, do you believe there's multiple ways in which we can hold each other accountable, like multiple departments we can do that?
I think it's relationship dependent.
Okay.
Right? And I think it's whatever you and your circle will agree on. Again, we're not monolithic, but usually we tend to circulate ourselves in clans, and we all where we essentially we have these same beliefs.
Yeah, like-minded people. Yeah.
Right. Find a like-minded group of men. There are so many men, and not so many. There's a good group of men in my lives who I like, my lives, who I matter, who I model myself after because there's little things that I admire about them, and I want to want this to translate in my own household, in my own life. You feel me? and I hope I do the same for others. And we agree in those things, right? And then on top of that, we agree on these other external, list of things that we agree that that this is what we believe, and I will always hold you to this standard in our belief. You feel me? Like you and I, like we ain't never talked about this shit. I mean, we care about our families.
Mm-hmm.
We care about our communities. We care about these things we agree on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have called each other out on those things.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because we are accountable for one another. That doesn't make either one of us. That doesn't make our relationship perfect, or doesn't mean that we do a great job of that all the time. But there's a baseline for it.
Yeah.
You feel me? We have to do that more often. Like that has to be something that we do to a point where it radiates beyond just in our circles when we're together, to where like I'm just a better person in the community, in the neighborhood, in the world. You feel me? Because what we give is like representation, and we have children and women and all these people saying, hey, we need to be protected, right? Before we can do that, we got to come to some agreements, right? So that's why I think this conversation that we're having is important.
Yeah.
But like, what do you like when you hear accountability and what your role is in that relationship? What do you think? Like, I've talked a lot. Like, what do you think?
No, not for me. I think a lot of times what I consider to be accountability and how I see it is bringing forth the conversations, right? Like I know a lot of times some of my friend groups, even like I say, even to a group chat level, right? Like sometimes when things are brought up, like if I feel a certain way about it, or I want us as a group to think about it in a different way, I'll say it. Like, hey, or for example, something comes up where somebody says, hey, I saw this, I thought this about it, man, this is what I feel. I'm not coming out with, hey, bro, this is how I feel about it. The reason why I don't agree with you is because I feel like if we think about it this way, we're taking out the factor of, you know what, I'll go to this level, right? Me and my friends were having a conversation about the situation with Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, right? About the shooting.
Was it the same wild conversation we had?
No.
Okay.
It's different that conversation. But it was like the Megan Thee Stallion, like the Tory Lanez situation. My thing I never had an issue of saying whose story was true or whose story we should believe in. My issue with the conversation that I was having with a group of friends was that some of us were immediately going to they lying, right? Or like Megan's lying. So it is for me. It's like me being a person. I say my level of accountability. I see it is calling it out, saying, "Hey, why are we so quick to saying that she's lying instead of just saying, hey, let's let the story unfold before we give our judgment out on it?"
Bro, that whole saga.
No, I get it. I get it.
Every gear I had.
Yeah. Because my issue was like, it's something that's a future episode we can unpack. I feel like that's a different issue. But it just, for me, the level of why are people so quick to say somebody's lying, somebody's not telling the truth? Instead, why can't we just say, oh, okay, I feel bad for you and what happened, I'm sorry. Here's my grievance towards it, and then let truth come out when it comes out, right? Like, why we got to pick a side? It's right, why can't you understand somebody's pain, the base level of what it is, and then just go from there?
I admire that.
And that's what I'm saying.
And that's a
right?
gift, because when I seen the situation, I immediately came to a conclusion that nigga shot her.
And I'll be real.
The shit out of her.
Looking at it, for me, I looked at it like, damn. Why? I was like, well, she ain't got no reason to lie. She already famous. And like, this is going to make her more famous. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why would somebody think she's lying? Like, there's no, or why would that even come to your mind in the first place? Right? And then, so for me looking at it, I thought the same thing you did. I'm like, oh, he shot her. He did that shit. That's first thing came to mind was he did that shit.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? But we're not the court system. We have to see
let me do a
quick thing comes up. But basically, my point is, why do sometimes, and it's not, I'm not saying all men do this. I'm just saying there's some men that I notice. Sometimes as men, when our black women are saying, hey, this happened to me, sometimes for us, our reaction isn't always a sympathy reaction. It's sometimes a thing of like, oh, what happened for them to react like that, or sometimes it's a thing of, oh, she probably lying. It's probably not how it was. And like I said, all that could possibly be true. In any situation, it could possibly be true. But why is that your first reaction? That is my issue.
Why are you doing mental gymnastics? I can't get it out. Gymnastics.
Yeah.
To come to a conclusion that he didn't do it. I mean,
like he did or didn't do it. Just to have empathy for the situation.
Megan got shot. We don't know what's going on. When I heard it, I was like, damn, oh shit, Tori was busting back. Like that shit was like an action movie. I was excited. I was like, yes. You feel me? Like, because he was willing to.
Oh, you thought he was protecting her?
I did.
Oh.
And I was like,
that is a different narrative.
Like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Rocking with him. Yeah. And she came out and said, yeah, Tori shot me. I was like, oh.
I would say that's a different viewpoint. Okay. You were thinking of it as a way, okay, Tori, you did your thing.
And then when she went to the explanation of I didn't want to,
well, you thought Tori was protecting somebody.
No, I did. But when she went to the explanation, I didn't even tell the cops at the time because, and it could have been a bunch of bullshit. It could have been.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell the cops because, in the midst of what's going on from a social standpoint, like I didn't want to turn.
Basically, they're killing us. Basically, what she said.
Yeah, I didn't want to turn into a situation where this situation leads to him being dead. You feel me? And she went through this whole emotional thing, and then, man, she lied. Okay. Then the hospital, and then we find out Tori went to jail because the gun that shot her was his. Right? No gun residue on him, but the gun that shot her was his. The one that they said he illegally had. He went to jail for it on the scene. That don't mean shit. She still lied. A picture of her foot, like the bullet hole in it.
I'm not laughing at the picture. I'm laughing at the fact that it's crazy though. That's real.
And guess what they still said?
She lied.
She lied. You feel me? Then he drops an album, and I have not listened to a word or a second of it. Did read a song. And in the song, I don't even know the name of it. He says, how you know, he says, I didn't shoot you, right? Or you didn't get shot, something to that effect. And then in that same song, he says, how you know who shot you if your back was turned? Tori, did she not get shot? Or was her back turned when she did get shot? The man... She still lied.
You open up the can of worms. But yeah, that's my point. Like, when I have like people, like my friends who say that, I don't want to say call. I don't want to turn calling out. The thing is, we all think differently. We all have different thoughts.
But bro, listen.
But in that, I was not cool with that being done. And I just not say something.
But listen.
That just be personal. So that's why I was saying that's the accountability. I had to say something about the way you were thinking about that.
But let me wrap that up, and then I promise you I'll get off my soapbox.
There's nothing wrong with it. No, do your soapbox, brother.
But then the man get charged with aggravated assault. I want to assume, given how it went down, the woman, whatever. I don't know what the charge is, but he's in jail.
But yeah,
he went to jail.
He just got recently charged with
actual
shooting.
I had a friend who, and I guess he's on the end of the rope on it. And he was like, well, now y'all want to trust the justice system because Tori went to jail. Listen, brother.
What is
And I'm saying all that to say, like, I still don't know if Tori shot her or whatever.
You brought that
and honestly, my disappointment ain't even with Tori. It is, but it ain't not on the same level of the people that are going through all this to proclaim his innocence with all the circumstantial evidence that we have. Because we're so unwilling to keep each other accountable because we think everything is a personal assault on who
But notice how the whole time we were talking about this, and you may correct me if I'm wrong. You're like, nah, this is how I feel. Feel free to say that. Not once did either one of us say cancel him. He doesn't deserve to be an artist. Don't listen to his music no more. We neither one of us said that no time.
I said that shit. Fuck him.
Okay, you did say that. Fuck. But my point is like, we were talking about the action of it in itself. Mm-hmm. We weren't saying, "Oh, Tory Lane, you're crap as an artist because of that." Now,
it hurt me a little bit not to listen to this. Right.
But nor did we say rush to cancel. We saying, "Hey, let's find out the truth." Well, this is what I'm saying. Let's find out the truth, just to see what it is. Personally, even though I think the truth is kind of outlined right there, and it is, but I'm also a firm believer of you are innocent till you're proven guilty. Even though the evidence pointed one way, I do believe in the due process. I do believe in that. But so for me, it was just the issue of we see a woman here saying that somebody attacked me. This is what happens, and we were quick to not defend her. Was my core issue of it all.
That, and also was quick to not hold him accountable.
And not hold him accountable.
Because accountability from his end is, I didn't shoot her, but this is what happened.
And see, I'm happy you brought it up. Because my issue with the album, I didn't listen to it either. But my thing, I talked with a friend about this, is like, if he was to release an album, okay, I don't agree with it. If I was his PR person, I probably said it was probably the best thing to do. But if you're going to address this situation, especially in the climate that we're in right now, especially because if memory serves me right, I believe it was 2 days after the Breonna Taylor case was official, where they said they weren't going to charge all the cops. So that also was like, that's not a good look. But it just, to me, like I said, to me, the core of it is, why would you address something like that in an album? Or even the album that you're dropping, that you're leaking, however you want to say it, you're putting out there, instead of having a statement. Because to me, it just lacked empathy. It lacked empathy, it lacked sympathy, it lacked total awareness to what was going on right now. And that was my issue. Once again, because nobody probably held him accountable, he probably didn't feel the need to do that. And that just goes to like the core of what I'm saying. Regardless of how you feel of if he did or didn't do it, there's the core of it of we have to have a little accountability of, hey, bro, if you didn't do this, please put it out there in this way and understanding of it. And that's all like to the core of that. The core of accountability is. I'll go ahead and wrap this up. You looked at me again. I was like, I'll wrap this up. But no, for real, in my opinion, we have to be open to the idea and literally, I know everybody has heard this, but iron sharpens iron. Right? Like we have to be able to have these conversations. We have to be able to talk to our homies. Even though some of our homies who we feel like don't think the same way we do, have that conversation. Put that in their head. Maybe change the way they think. They think. They never had nobody challenge that before. But we have to hold each other accountable and make each other better. Because not only do our women need us, but the community as a whole, we have to uplift each other. We gotta do better overall. We have to, and that starts off with accountability. Other than that, see y'all next time.
Because really what you said ultimately was, what does relinquish mean to you? So like, what does that even mean to you in the first place? And what you want to convey in our show?
So like relinquish, when I hear that and I think about what you guys have created and what it is to me. So a lot of times when we hear the term or we feel the analogy of like somebody being shackled or held down to whatever circumstance that is holding them down, we think about the cuffs actually being an exterior force that's wrapped around your wrist. Sometimes you are holding on to those things. Yeah. And then when you relinquish it, let it go, you're free, right? So, yeah. But that is a process within itself.
You create your own freedom, ultimately.
You creating your own freedom. The freedom is there. You feel me? Like there's always going to be outside forces that influence you to behave as if you were entrapped. That ain't necessarily it. You feel me? So. Like when I hear relinquish, you're letting go things that are holding you down from being free. Like, literally Erykah Badu bag lady. Like, let the bags go so you can fly. So that's what I hear when I hear relinquish.
That's real, bro. I mean, that's ultimately what relinquish what we try to convey. I mean, ultimately, we're trying to let people know, like, your freedom is really your own. The freedom is there for you to obtain. The freedom is there for you to get it, but you have to let go so you can be free and fly away. So, I mean, really, just what you said, man.
Absolutely. So even when I think about what it is that we are in the journey of where we're trying to create, and this is a show, and it's so many. Let's not get beside ourselves and say that we're groundbreaking and we're doing something new. It's men talking about issues from a man's perspective. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Yeah. But what I want people to know is that what I hope is different or what we're even. I hope this isn't different, but I hope what is the message, what you get from us is, while what we're saying isn't fact, and it may not be fact.
No, it's not fact.
Yeah, it can be based on facts, but it ain't fact.
We're not getting the bullshit.
And it isn't the truth, right? This is our truth. This is what we feel to be true. This is what we think is, what is relevant. This is our moral scope. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you have to trust your own truth. You have to believe. You have to find what it is that you believe, and you have to live by that code. And hopefully that coincides with everybody else. And you just doing your part to make this world a better place.
See, this is why you were one of the first people to take pictures of. You explained it perfectly. But no, bro. I mean, I definitely do feel you in that. Like, ultimately, what we want people to get from Relinquish is really what you think it is. I mean, honestly, ultimately, it's about being free. Right. So, whatever your idea of being free is, that's what it's gonna be.
So you gotta understand, like, Relinquish is, as far as what you guys built, like, you have to go straight to the source for that. But use Relinquish as a term, as a word, as a lifestyle. That ultimately, I'm telling you to use that to set you free.
Right.
That's it.
That's all we need.